Alright, welcome back everyone. What is the good word? Welcome back to the You Like That podcast with me. My name is Adam.
My name's Jack. I am the other of
Did I fuck it up again?
Podcast. Yes, you did.
Fuck, I keep...
Maybe that's the new intro.
I'm stuck to being thinking it's the outro now. I don't know.
Giggle at it every time. No, the outro's the one where I drag it on for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm one half of this podcast as well, just to
look forward to that.
Look forward to the outro of this video. Welcome back to another week. Hope everyone's all good. There goes my phone, but it's all fine. It's just worthless notes. If you're stumbling across this for the first time, chuck a subscribe. Do it right now. I'm going to drop this one early. Chuck a subscribe because maybe people don't get to the end of their videos.
we do tack it on to the end.
We have very long videos and people aren't sure. So if you're here and you're liking us already and the antics that we have, chuck the subscribe, like it, whatever you want to do.
It's only 2 videos a week, so we won't clog up your sub box.
Correct Mundo. And I'm going to change up the schedule again. Going to do the audios on Sunday still.
Yep.
But I'm going to do the visuals on... I want to put them up on Tuesdays.
Okay. I'm alright with that.
Just because I feel like it's a little bit too much of a gap.
Yeah.
For once you put up the video and then there's a new one out.
Yep.
So, new schedule. Sunday audio. Tuesday YouTube visual. And I'm probably going to do Thursday or Friday now for the news.
Yeah, that's a good spread.
Yeah. Liking that better. So, going to come at you a lot quicker there. So, for anyone listening to this, video's coming a lot sooner. Yep. You may notice we're a little bit more well lit.
We look way too HD.
It's really weird.
Quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's different. It's stepping up production value without spending a cent. So I'd like to thank my vocalist Benny for supplying these wonderful lights.
Yeah, it pays to be in a band, doesn't it?
It does. It does. When you make your own music video, you have your own shit to play around with. So thank you, Ben. Much appreciated. So let's just jump in. We're here with another new movie.
Another new one.
We're here with the Russell Crowe led movie Unhinged.
It's dropped out of nowhere. Like the trailer just started playing. Like it's just a standalone action romp.
Yeah. So it's like a mystery thriller action. Fat Russell Crowe being angry.
Yeah, he's a very large man. He's a very large man.
Very large man in this movie. So, if you're not aware of Unhinged, it's basically just a psychopathic man having a very bad day, where a woman honks at him for sitting at a stoplight, a green light for too long, and he decides to chase her down and try to murder her.
It's just a 90-minute road rage movie.
Exactly right. It's a good point. 90 minutes. It's a nice, fair
movie.
Very short
movie, yeah.
Hour and a half, but it didn't feel like it.
It felt like 20 minutes. Like, the pace, pretty much from the word go, the pace is just red hot.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciated that. I always whinge about movies being too long.
Yeah. So it's good to have something definitely on the shorter scale. So this is, it's just a movie that came out of nowhere. As it is with the COVID shit, things just weren't coming out when they should. Even still, the trailer didn't come out too long ago. It was only a couple months ago when it first sort of got announced and then just sort of moved away and no one sort of posted about it. Yeah. And then they said, we'll do it this day, that day. It was all the whole delaying everything again. And then eventually just brought it out and went, fuck it.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
People will see it.
People will see it.
People like Russ.
People like Russ.
Yeah, so relatively small director, Derek Borte.
Yep.
Derek Bort.
Didn't really have anything in the old filmography list.
No, relatively small budget. Like, Russ would have been most of the budget.
$33 million budget.
Russell would have been most of that, and the house explosion at the beginning.
That as well, and I'd say the car scenes as well. They've had some really good car scenes in this. Yeah. Currently, it's only sitting at 5.4 million in the box, but it hasn't had a full release yet.
Yeah, it's the box office is going to be weird until late next year. Yeah, it released mid-July in Germany, and then 31st of July throughout UK, Europe. We got it about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so it would have been around the 31st.
About that as well. So, hasn't been out for too long, and it's not the worst. It's better than Follow Me.
I really like this movie. I think this is a really good movie.
It is.
And
that was the most surprising thing when I saw. So,
it does help that it followed Follow Me. Like our last cinema experience was just like, why?
It was a very bad experience.
What is the point?
We're doing this shit. It's very surprising just because if you go and watch this trailer,
the trailer's not good.
The trailer makes it look like it's just a movie based on a guy that has road rage and has decided now to kill a woman for honking at him.
It's definitely a bit better than that.
There's a lot more to it.
It's more thought out than that, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that sort of, makes a detriment to the movie itself where people wouldn't go see it because from the start they go, nah, that just looks pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Well, why even bother?
There's the line in the trailer that always bothered me whenever I watched it because I was like, this is just lazy 80-yard exposition where he's talking during that initial car scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, my wife just left me. In the trailer I was always like, oh, that's a weird line. But then you find out, full spoilers by the way, you find out in the movie that's like 2 hours after he murdered his wife. So that line has a bit more gravity to it.
We'll get to more spoilers soon. I'll kind of make this a little bit non-spoilery to start with. We'll make it a little... That's all right. That's the start of the movie.
It's the first 40 seconds of the movie.
You'll get there. But let's just give it a full non-spoiler, quick little have at it right now. Good movie.
Very good movie.
It's so fucking surprising that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Because as it is a weird and strange plot. It's not really something that's been done before.
Yeah.
Not to this extent, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like a stalkery, but he's not really a stalker. He's just sort of playing games.
Yeah.
Sort of always a couple of steps ahead, but still
surprisingly
flying by the seat of his pants.
Yes.
You can tell he's definitely improvising at every step of the way.
Yeah.
Like he's not Tobin Bell, whatever his name was, John Kramer. He's not Jigsaw.
Yeah, no.
He's literally just going snapped and he's just going along.
Yeah, he is very surprisingly smart about
he's obviously very
that he does in it. But like the movie itself, it is a weird plot line. It is something that people can look at and be like, that is a really weird sort of way to have a movie.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch as well. Like road rage wouldn't get that bad.
Exactly right. It is a big stretch, but I think maybe the director wanted to put more like underlying tones throughout this movie in regards to actual human social life as it is.
Yeah, there's the Joker. Society doesn't like poor people.
Yeah.
My life's really hard. This lawyer has it really easy, etc., etc.
Scumbag lawyers will always put out the ex-husband and give as much as they can to the ex-wife.
And they don't lay that on too thick. No. But the diner scene, they lay that on pretty thick.
That's where it hits in.
Yeah.
You get all the hints at the start about the divorcing and all that, and then it's just the small little details throughout the movie that sort of say this is just a snapshot into human life and how shit people are.
Yeah.
And so there is good like tonal metaphors and that throughout the movie where if you look at it and go, this will bump up the movie a little bit in terms of rating and what it's like. Cause,
instead of just some psycho.
yeah. But in
for no reason, like there's motivation, which always helps in these movies. Like
heaps of motivation. Shot really well, I think, as well. I think the car scenes were all brilliant.
Yeah. You can tell they were a bit cheaper because they're clearly driving pretty slowly.
Yeah.
And you can always tell that in car chase scenes, but like they thunder along. They absolutely roar along.
Oh, his pickup truck is like fucking.
And the soundtrack, like you barely notice it, and then when the woman turned it all the way up, and it really like helps, like. You're just as scared as she is because the soundtrack is literally making you anxious as it pumps along. Yeah,
it is full on, and it is a very tense and suspenseful movie because it drops a lot of things throughout it that really make you go, oh well, fuck. Or are we involving more into?
Everyone's been stuck in traffic. Everyone's honked at someone. Like everyone's given someone the bird.
Yeah,
like so to watch it go this wrong.
Yeah,
it's pretty spooky.
It's very spooky. So. We'll give you that non-spoiler. This is definitely a good movie.
Definitely worth a watch.
It's definitely worth a watch. When I was sitting there watching it, after it, I sat there and went, "This would be a good date movie."
Yeah,
you could take a date to this movie and just have a laugh.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's fun, it's suspenseful, it's tense, it's short. Yeah, it might not have been great, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, didn't waste your time.
Didn't waste your time. Definitely a good movie. So. Let's jump straight into the spoilers now and divulge this whole plot into exactly what this movie is about.
Yeah, well, let's start with Russ. I'm a big Russell Crowe fan. I just think he's great, and I like watching him in anything he's in. He's great in this. Like, I fully expected him to be like the quiet, stoic.
Yeah.
John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane. I expected him to be like quiet and thought out. and like meticulous and stuff. But the movie is called Unhinged. He's literally like in the chase scenes. He's basically foaming at the mouth. Like he is losing his mind.
He can't wait to fucking terrorize this woman's life.
And you can tell he's like fully snapped because like Russell is putting everything into it.
Yeah.
And he's literally unhinged. Like he's
literally
terrifying.
And the whole movie, it's his breathing.
Yeah.
That's the big highlight of his acting in this movie, is just the heavy breathing under his own. And it is light, but they pick it up enough where you just hear it and it unsettles you as well.
And you can tell like he's like nervous doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously thinking about what he's doing, but he's still just
He's nervous at the start, but then once he gets going, he's sort of like...
Yeah, and you're like, is he enjoying this? Or like...
He's definitely fucking
he never
enjoying
looks
this by the end of it.
Yeah, he never looks like he's enjoying it. But with some of the things, some of the dialogue, you're like, oh, he's liking this a little bit too much.
He's having fun.
But in his body language and his acting, he's just like clearly just reacting pretty much. He's not really acting. And when he does, when he ties up someone, you don't see that happen. You just see him, what happens if a police officer walks in or something. He's always reacting. And that added so much to the pace and the anxiety of the film too, because he's always on the ragged edge of getting caught. Yeah. And you can tell he knows that.
Yeah. It's very...
I fucking love Russell Crowe, dude.
Yeah, so I like Russ, without doubt. I haven't seen a lot that he's in as anything. Like, going back through his list to try and fill out some questions at the end of the show, I'm sitting there going, fuck, I haven't seen him in a lot of movies. But I know I like him. Yeah. I know he's good. Like, him in Man with the Iron Fist, he's really good. He's like a side character. He's not in it too much, but his character's really, really fun in that one. What was the other one that I had him in? Oh, Gladiator, obviously.
Gladiator's his big one.
That's the obvious one. And yeah, I couldn't really find too much else on him. But I know I like Russ. Yeah. Especially in this. I really like Russ in this.
And especially with Karen Pistorius, I think
Karen Pistorius, yes.
She's not a damsel in distress. Like, again, it's all reacting. Like, she is acting very realistically. Yes. And I love the choices she makes. Yeah. She's just like, straight away, she's just like, oh, I'll just ring the police. Yeah. And then, like, when they're in the next chase, they're just like, oh, we'll just go to the police station. Like, yeah, of course, you won't try and fight him. Yeah, no. Find him and drive your car. You're in a little Volvo, he's in that Mack truck, you know? Yeah. And she's like level-headed, but it's almost because she's in shock. Yeah. And you see that.
Well, she's doing the more logical things that most people should do in these sort of scenarios is don't try and fight this person. Yeah,
exactly. It's very human. It's very
get whoever you can and try and fucking, get away from it. Because it's not until the end where she actually does put up the fight against you and realize, she's like, this is the only way it's going to end.
And she is surviving. She's not cowering or anything, but she is running. Like, she's running to help. Yeah. But, things get in the way. He gets in the way. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly right. Karen Pistorius, again, she's an actress that hasn't had a lot of screen time, a lot of movies, except for the one movie that I do know her from, which is Cargo. Which is the Australian horror one that I've mentioned a few times.
Quite a few times.
She is one of the not so much leads, but she has some decent screen time in the movie. She's sort of like a woman held captive by this big burly bloke who Martin Freeman's character assumes is she's his wife, and then soon he finds out that she's not. Yeah, right. He's just sort of claimed her and been like, fucking try and run, and I'm just gonna throw you in a pit of zombies. Okay. Whatever.
Well, that would make me not run. Yeah. I'd be like, pit of zombies or big burly bloke.
Yeah, you're in the outback of Australia and there's a zombie outbreak. I wouldn't want to be around anyway. I'll take the dick. Yeah. I'll take the dick. The only other sort of notable
big quotes. Adam, I'll take the dick.
Don't fucking quote me on that. The only other sort of notable actor is Gabriel Bateman. So he's the kid, Rachel's son. Yeah. He's one of those horror actors. He's a kid in Hollywood, so they go, you'd be good in a horror movie. Yeah. So he was in Lights Out. Mm-hmm. He was in the first Annabelle movie. Ugh. And he was in the reboot of Child's Play. Okay. So...
I haven't seen it. Should see that.
I thought it was very bad.
The lawyer is one of the McPoyles from It's Always Sunny.
Yep.
But he's actually like clean cut and speaking properly, so
it's
hard to recognise him.
Yeah.
I always forget that he's like a serious actor.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, you're one of the toils.
He's done some things before, hasn't he?
He meets a rather untimely demise.
Yes. Yes,
so,
he does.
Yeah, we should... So, I keep saying this movie is scary, and it is really scary.
Yeah.
But it's not like, flat out gore or,
no
jump scares or anything.
Yeah, no.
But when it's violent, it is really, really fucking visceral.
That's where the scare factor comes in. They portray it as a very real sort of fear, and that's of a big burly man.
Because you think
fucking hacking you down.
Yeah, you think, oh, he could just crash his car into her, and that's probably all he'll do. But then you see the strength that it takes for him to like kill the lawyer.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, oh no, his size counts. Yeah. And you see him holding the girlfriend later on, and he's like, it's like he's not even trying because he's 3 times the size of her. So yeah, that adds a lot of fear and anxiety into it as well.
So
I wonder why he was so like big for the role. I was just like, did he just get that big maybe?
And it's not like,
in ISO, but
is Russ just big now?
Yeah, but
is this just him?
He definitely uses it in this movie.
Uses it very well in this. So let's touch on why he is as unhinged as he is.
So the movie starts with him. Clearly, you can tell his wife's left him, probably for someone else, because there's someone else in the house.
Yep.
You don't know how long it's been. Like, knowing him, it could have been like a year, and he's still like dwelling on it.
Yep. So it's 4 a.m. It's pissing down rain. He's sitting out front of this house in his pickup truck, breathing very loudly, and just sort of sitting there. Sees he has his wedding ring on, takes it off, throws it in the back. So you go, okay, there's a relationship thing here.
Yep.
And then takes his coat off, grabs a tank of gas, and guessing it looked like a crowbar or something, or a baseball bat, something heavy.
Yeah, it's crowbar-esque.
Starts beating down this door, gets through. Guy runs out, girl runs out. He smacks the dude fair in the head, and then beats his brain to a pulp. Does the same to the woman. This is all happening from outside the house, so you're only looking through the doorway. And you just hear a lot of screaming.
It is a little preview of some of the violence that can happen.
Yeah. Does all that, sets the house on fire, drives away.
Doesn't make too much of an effort to hide himself. Like, when he gets back in the truck, he kind of sits there for a bit, and like the lights are always out. Later on, he just doesn't give a shit about getting caught. Like, in the diner scene, he's just like, everyone's filming, and he just walks out.
Yeah.
Stays on the phone, gets into his truck, and then drives away.
Yeah. So the whole thing now after that, drives away. It's the next morning or so we then get involved with Rachel and understanding, who she is in that. She's also a newly divorced woman.
Yep.
Undergoing the divorce process. It has the opening shot of a How to Cope with Divorce with Children book on the table. So it's just sort of a snapshot into seeing what sort of vibe this movie's going with and what it's sort of going to... And it's going to be sort of basing itself upon, divorced parents and what it does to both the kids and the adults themselves.
It'll either make you snap or survive.
Exactly right. Much. So you see it from perspectives, I guess, in a way. And that all just builds, you learn of the other characters. So her kid, her brother, his fiance.
Yep.
And they just start their life, which then starts to bring in the road rage aspect in this movie. It's opens from the starting credits, so it's all taken of like CCTV footage, CCTV footage,
and riots,
phone cameras, dash cams, all stuff like that. It's all about road rage, people rioting, all this sort of shit, and it's all like news outlets talking about road rage and stuff and how it's
underneath it getting louder and louder and louder,
which was very ominous, and I very much like how they portrayed that. That made me go, "Ooh,
it was cool."
It made you sort of excited from the start because you go, "Fuck, we're gonna get something good out of this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a ride." So, road rage aspect is implanted in your brain from the get go.
Yep.
And then slowly becomes around because this is a very relatable movie. Road rage is a very relatable thing.
Yeah, everyone's flipped someone on the bird.
Everyone's flipped someone on the bird. Everyone's honked their horn. Everyone's screamed in their car.
Everyone hates traffic.
Yeah, everyone hates traffic. Everyone tries to think they can avoid it. You're never going to avoid traffic. If traffic is there, you're getting stuck in it. Just accept it.
Yeah.
So, go through a little bit. We get the first meeting of Rachel and Russ's character.
The brother and wife, I had a little bit of a problem with because you could tell they existed only to die.
Yeah.
Because they're in it very briefly at the start. It's kind of hinted at that Rachel doesn't really like her.
Yeah.
And then you don't see them again for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then they come back when ultimately old mate's in his house.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, these characters are just fodder.
Yeah.
They're very, very expendable fodder.
Yeah. They're here to drive some suspense and throw some real caution in the wind of where this is going to go.
Yeah, it's just like another relationship that didn't really... They could have just focused on Rachel and the son. But
yeah.
Whatever. It's small gripe.
Yeah, exactly. And then more background stuff. You know, you've got like the TV news reports reporting on the house fire that he caused and saying, 2 people were murdered. They know that it's the ex-husband. They're on the lookout. And so you're sort of like, okay, so police are aware of this gentleman.
Yeah.
No, he's around.
Probably.
He's committed a very big crime.
Yep.
So this is the one thing that sort of dragged me. How have they not?
Yeah.
Especially when he's just sitting in traffic.
I thought about that afterwards, and I was like, you probably shouldn't think too much about that.
Yeah. It's obviously it's just they're sort of like much on that. It's sort of going to ruin the movie
and they get around it later on with on the highway, the police crash. 911 operator like, everyone's at this crash.
Yeah.
Every cop in the state is at this.
That was another part.
It was a pretty bad crash, and the police officer clearly wasn't.
But it also just fucking happened.
Yeah, exactly. Like, literally.
But she also called and said, the guy that's been murdering everyone is chasing you right now. They're like, no, we've got to attend this crash.
Like, sorry.
What you need for a crash? That's where you need fire and ambos.
Yeah.
The police, don't worry about them. They just move the traffic. Surely she says, I'm being chased by a fucking psychotic murderer. At least give me one cop.
Just one.
Just one. Nah.
Just a mall security
Sorry,
guy.
they're all in the area and they're all attending your crash.
Yeah, and that's the only point where come on, mate. Like,
yeah.
I know you need convenience, but that's a bit too convenient.
Yeah. So, snapping point here onto Rachel's character is sitting at a green light. She's behind him because she's trying to make her way around traffic, and it's just portraying her as that she also has road rage and whatnot. Gives him a couple of honks, speeds over around because.
But she's also having a terrible morning.
She's having a
slightly less terrible than murdering your ex-wife.
Definitely less terrible.
Well, she's stressed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun.
Comes around the corner, traffic, and then he pulls up next to her, and that's when we get the trailer scene where he's talking through the window to the kid and to her, saying, "I'm just having a bit of a bad day. I'm sure you meant to only give me a bit of a curve." This is a light honk.
Yeah, it's not in the trailer, but the window's fucked. That's why they don't just roll the window up.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, window's actually fucked. It's an old shit car. It honestly shouldn't be driving as much as
mate, Volvo 240. Estate, mind you.
The one thing, big thing I like.
Survived nuclear fallout, those things.
Every close-up of Russ's truck, the Ford badge is covered.
Yeah, I guess Ford didn't want to be involved with the murder.
Obviously, they went, if we're going to do a close-up, we can't actually show the fucking brand of this car.
Yeah, and you can, that makes sense from a marketing standpoint because he's this terrifying, psychos buy these trucks and stalk people and kill people.
Yeah, it's sort of saying, who are your cars marketed for? Psychotic murderers.
So I can see why Ford went, hey, use it, but, you know what I mean?
Don't put the badge in there.
And that's a grey ute.
Yeah, it's a grey pickup truck, ute, whatever.
That's it.
That's all it is.
You know what it looks like.
But, Ford, BM, we'll be talking here. Yeah. A lot of grey pickups.
That's a ute.
But yeah, then that's just sort of stuff and being like, no, I'm not saying sorry, I got nothing to apologise for. And it's then him grasping onto the concept of, no one can ever take accountability. No one can ever say they're sorry. Yeah. And no one ever means anything. Everyone's just
very jokery.
Yeah.
Very jokery.
Very Joaquin Phoenix jokery. Fuck the world hates me type deal. And then that's what sets off the warpath, which is just a massive chase for the next hour.
It's a suicide mission. Yeah, it is literally an entire chase movie, pretty much, from there on.
It doesn't stop. It soon becomes more diabolical than you could imagine that it's just him chasing her down to hurt her. It's now, I'm going to show you what a bad day is, and I'm going to kill anyone that you love.
Yeah, he steals her phone and goes through her contacts again. I don't remember if that's in the trailer, but
not in the. It's in the trailer that he has her phone.
Okay, yeah.
Because they have the diner scene where he's sitting across from him.
Because she's like, I don't have
my friend.
Yeah.
And then
don't have a passcode because I use my phone while driving.
Yeah.
Just a bad message to send. Don't use your phone while driving.
It's another red herring for the fucking film where he's like, you don't have a passcode anymore? She's like, it takes too long to unlock it when I'm driving. He's like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, huh.
You're like, that'll come back later. Yeah. It's one of those lines where you're like, that's obviously either a joke or a plot device.
Yeah. And then it's a whole plot device, because if there was a passcode on that phone, we wouldn't have this movie.
Nope.
So yeah.
It's a good looking movie. The explosion at the beginning, it's just the mounted shot on the truck.
Yeah.
And then it's like lined up just the house.
Yeah.
And then you see how big the explosion actually is. That was a really cool shot.
Very good.
It's literally in the first 50 seconds, but man, that was it's just one shot.
But as it is, that's most of this movie. Most of the action is really well done.
Yeah.
You can't really see like a low CGI looking sequence at all.
And you can follow everything, which is a big deal in especially chase movies, but in any action movie, is there's not 1,000 edits, just like someone's just got a camera just doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually longer shots, and you know where they are in traffic. You know how far away he is, and because looking movie.
Yeah, definitely good looking movie.
The fight scene at the end is a little bit. It goes a bit Taken too, because
it gets a bit strange, and I think it stumbled at the end there to get its ending.
Yeah, and I think because Russell Crowe isn't a stuntman.
Yeah,
and she's obviously not a stunt woman. So when she's jumping on him and stuff, they have to get around stunt people doing there a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, all my gripes with this are very small. I'm just...
It's all very small stuff.
I'm just nitpicking.
You nitpick at it and you go, yeah, but... the way I see it, because looking at all the critic standpoints, it's only 57% on the tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's got a average basis of 5.5 out of 10. And I just think people are looking into this one a bit too much because it's Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I think it's a bit higher than an average movie.
100%.
I would say slightly above it. I would give this probably a 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7 as well.
Yeah.
It's
I hate number ratings, but to put it in context.
Yeah, in a context way. It's a very memorable movie.
Good performances.
It's not like a crazy ass fuck, you got to go see this movie. It's just it was a really good movie.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. And it's not too far fetched. It's
just how you look at it. If you just look at it as, he's just got road rage and it's just melodramatic and just over the top.
And back to her just surviving and being in reality and stuff. When the final showdown is at a house, it's at their parents' house.
Yeah.
They're not there, whatever. That scheme, they clearly only had a couple of minutes, and what she just parks another car across the road. That's her whole plan.
That's one of my... Because that was the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that was Uncle Freddy's Fortnite strategy. Yeah. And then that's sort of
that would date it.
That plays into the end.
Definitely date it. I mean, it dates it now because Fortnite is still 2 years ago. It's a weird reference. She doesn't become this super genius making traps, and she literally just rams a Prius into his car.
Yeah, flips it over, but then he's still just somehow out of it. This is after he's been shot as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, he gets shot 4 times.
Yeah, so basically he goes to her house and basically makes her brother kill his fiancée.
Yeah,
pushing her into the knife that he's holding.
Going back to the violence, that is a horrible scene.
So he's watching TV or whatever, and they're talking about the diner scene, and that the guy that did the house fire, and that is now people have filmed him doing this. So calm, walking. He's calling out to his fiancée. No real response. You hear some glass shattering, and her doing a bit of a. That's about it. walks out into the back. Notices that there's...
It takes him a really long time. Just
like,
eating his fucking Cocoa
If Brooke
Pops.
doesn't respond to me once, I'm down the stairs being like, the fuck's wrong? What's happening? But looks out the window, sees a grey pickup. Because it's grey pickup truck. Don't know what make it is, but it's grey. Grabs a knife, walks into the back room, and holding his fiancée, very battered and beaten.
Yeah, he's clearly done quite a number on her.
Yep, talking some smack, and then basically he's holding the knife here, close, and then just starts ramming her into the knife. It's just
like there's no musical cue, there's no like tension build up. He just does it.
Just sharks her in.
Of the Brightburn, the movie Brightburn, it's not a good movie, but these horrible flashes of supreme gore.
Yeah,
and it's just like when the guy has his jaw done over, and it reminded me of that. Like, I did not expect this to be a violent movie, so when it happens, I was just like, oh my god!
That's the thing is like there's only like minute violent tendencies in this.
There's probably like 4.
It's spread out very well.
4 scenes of violence.
Yeah, give or take.
Maybe 5. Yeah. If you count him getting shot, probably 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much, and it's spaced out well, and it's utilised very well.
Yeah.
It doesn't look cheap. It's not over the top.
No, it's really and you could tell because it was used sparingly. They could really,
they made them look very dark, so they obviously didn't have to use as much prosthetics or blood and all that type of stuff. But enough that was really effective for the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
To begin with, anyway.
It's just like So then, it's just like a scrappy altercation that she sort of lucks her way into prevailing and wins, and that's it.
Yeah, that's basically he's going to struggle. He's going to strangle the kid with just a fucking extension cord.
And he does it.
He does. He's got it locked. A couple of seconds in, getting it, and then she just fucking turns around, stabs him in the eye with a pair of scissors.
Yep.
And then kicks the scissors. Fair straight into his eye.
She gets a cool action movie one-liner.
Gets a cool...
I don't remember what it was, but it's like...
something fucking stupid.
It's
like
okay. Like, suck on these eggs or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't say suck on these eggs. I don't know why I said
fucking... Yep.
She was just like...
It's not going to happen.
It's like, here's your bad day or something. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what that was as well.
But I was so into the movie at that point, I was just like, she deserves that.
Yeah.
She can have that little moment.
I think it was... I think I felt pretty good about it when they revealed that the brother was still alive.
Yeah.
So obviously after the thing with his fiancée and that...
Oh yeah, he gets set on fire.
Yeah, he duct taped him to a chair, told him to write out this note to his sister, being like, you're responsible for this and that, as he's like pouring lighter fluid all over him. This is when the cops come, and then they shoot Russ in the shoulder, and he sort of just makes a break for it after setting the chair on fire. And then that scene sort of ends, so it's sort of left open where you're like, you're not going to know if he's dead until the end of the movie.
Pretty safe assumption he's dead as fuck.
Yeah, he's sitting there burning. But, get to the end of the movie after the cops come to the house and they're all doing the reports and shit, taking over the dead body and that, and then they pull her away from her son, and then she comes away, she's like, Uncle Freddy's going to be okay. He's alive. And you're like,
be okay, though. He's alive, but okay.
It was burnt on the front.
Yeah.
He also, watched himself murder his fiancée.
It's a very happy ending
in a
for
way.
all the trauma they went through. You're like, okay, well, there's going to be some long-lasting damage from this.
A lot of long-lasting damage.
I love the full-on, like, Full House, like, Friends, Will and Grace sitcom-style ending.
Yeah.
Where, like, she gets...
She's about to honk the horn.
And then, like...
Doesn't.
The son looks at her and is like, oh, you!
Just sits there and goes, good choice.
Yeah. And that's stupid, but I was like, they're just going to drive off otherwise.
Yeah.
It's like, you might as well have a little wink in it.
There's nothing else to end this movie with.
It's so stupid, but it's just like,
They're already happy that they fucking won the fight and that now this cunt's dead and whatnot. But, yeah, it's just an ultimate warpath movie of just like...
So scary and, like... embodies the title of the movie so well. I'll say it again, like, he's just so off the fucking handle, not subtle at all.
No.
Just the opposite of subtle.
So good.
Just explodes.
Because that's the one thing we didn't really touch on is the diner scene there. That violent act of display.
Yeah.
Goes and meets Rachel's.
Because he puts the charm on there a little bit, but he's still just like awkward and sort of like breathing heavily, and you're still kind of like, he's just like a fucking still kind of weird homeless guy.
Something wrong, and then he sort of says, "Oh, I'm a friend of Rachel's," and he's like, "Oh, she's late and all that." And he's like,
little lies and
she
stuff.
apologized. This fucking fair smacks him in the face with a coffee cup and breaks his nose.
Yeah.
Slams his head down on the fucking table.
And he stabs him in the back of the neck.
Stabs him in the back of the neck. He's on the phone to her.
A fork?
Fork? I think it's a knife, actually.
It might be a butter knife. Yeah.
It's definitely a butter knife.
More impressive.
Exactly right. And this is another part of those things where it chirps real social life in the fact that everyone in this diner is either watching or filming but no one is doing anything.
Yeah, nowadays.
Which
you wouldn't. Like, you see this 250 kilo man.
I don't know. Honestly, someone can stand up and say something, if not a whole group of you, to try and prevent this.
In Australia, you see that a lot. Like, people just throwing shopping trolleys at people holding knives. I don't know about America. I suppose you just get fucking shot in America. Yeah,
it's more of a risk factor, I guess, but regardless, they say this guy doesn't have a fucking gun, but honestly, there's two old guys sitting in the booth that are filming, and you're like, how the fuck did they know how to use that camera?
Yeah, and it's like, it's Midwestern America, so all of them have shotguns under their shirts.
Yeah,
that's just how it is in America.
But from what I gather from that, it is literally just shouting out that people will not stand up for anyone these days.
Yeah.
Everyone's too much of a pussy and would rather film it and get some fucking fame off the internet for it, which I'm fucking so against. I hate people so much.
Yeah.
Because if anytime I've seen an altercation out somewhere, I'll make a remark or something towards it. Like, I've never been in like a situation like that where some cunts that you get about to get fucking stabbed. But if there's some like little like a yelling kerfuffle going on, I'm fucking loudmouth and I'll fucking.
It's a little bit homelessy. So when I'm waiting for my coffee in the mornings, you see some interesting back and forth.
Yeah. I've been out there. I've lived there for a long time as well. Not a great place.
Oh, that's well. That's my point.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm glad.
I wouldn't film it though. That feels gross.
It does. It does. I don't know if they expected it to go there, but just in general,
it's a bit society as a phone. It's like everyone just films.
People just have road rage too much, or people don't know how to drive properly.
There's that overarching, you never know what someone's going through. She's going through a shit morning, he's going through a shit morning, just a different... Murdered his wife, she lost some scissors, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but it still affects her mood enough to react and, you know, kick all this off.
Yeah.
So I guess the general theme is just let people fucking... cut you off in traffic. It doesn't matter. They might be on their way to see their dead wife. You know, it's just like, just be nice. Just be nice to people, and you won't get stabbed in the back of the neck with a. Yeah. Well, she gets what's coming to her. Yeah, she gets rear-ended in a half.
Straight into the fucking the turn like that, and she goes. And I'm like, you fucking deserve
all real.
Bitch.
All the car crashes were real.
Yeah,
that truck definitely went through that car.
That was a fucking.
That was a great stunt. Yeah, that felt dangerous. That stunt actually.
Well, yeah. Well, it goes through, and they did it well though. Where they sort of like were able to sort of like splatter blood on the front of the truck as well to signify that.
And it's funny how he's like another budgetary like sign you can see in that like. When the truck goes through the cop car, there's clearly no other cars around.
Yeah.
And then it's like the Blues Brothers. There's just cars everywhere. There's all these smashes. Like, where were they 10 meters ago? Yeah. And how have they not slowed down enough to like not go zoom and fly around? Like,
but automatically all the cops are there though after that. Very quickly.
Every single cop in America needed to be there.
Very quickly. There's a lot of cops in this area. They're all on this highway attending this crash now.
It is very impressive. Like the car stunts are very impressive.
Yeah. No, definitely give it to that. So
good movie.
It's a fucking really good movie.
Very good movie. Surprisingly,
it is so weird to say.
Yeah, I was keen for it, but I was still like, oh, this is better than I thought it was going to be.
100%. When I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to do this. And then we went to the movies and you saw the trailer and you were like, it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've gone, fuck,
And that's with a trailer that's not very good.
Yeah, there's a trailer that spins this movie in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then, you see it, and I see that you like it, and I'm going, fuck. It has. It hasn't been a bad year.
Yeah. Trailer, like, in Staten Island, the trailer was nothing like the movie was.
Yeah.
I was disappointed about seeing all of Tenet, so maybe.
Yeah,
maybe the Tenet trailer is only the first 8 minutes of it or something.
And we're going to be doing Tenet.
So soon!
Tenet is, it's fucking confirmed. Event Cinemas are going, fuck it, we've got it. We're screening it. It doesn't fucking matter. They can change it if they want to. We're screening
Christopher Nolan can come and sue us. Yeah, Hoyts are doing it. Another big chain in Australia are doing it early, but
I think Event are doing it as well.
I think it'll be fucking midnight screenings or something, and I cannot do that.
Yeah, no, we'll just wait for it normal.
Oh, it's so soon.
Yeah.
Or when you're hearing this, it won't be next episode. The week. Yeah, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it'll be
Next episode is something else.
Not next episode. Episode after. Because we have more movies to do.
Tenet, baby!
Oh, no, you're going to be so happy. I can't wait till that movie disappoints you.
It's gonna.
All this hype for fucking nothing.
Inception. We didn't get that Inception re-release we were promised? Or am I too early?
No, I think you're too early. I think it's still coming.
Yeah.
I think I still saw it on there.
Because I would really like to go and see Inception.
Definitely in a cinema experience.
Yeah.
Because I never watched it. I think when I first watched it was on my laptop. And it's no way to watch Inception.
I saw it on a DVD. Ooh. 340p.
Ooh.
Or whatever DVDs are.
Yuck.
But we got some good shit coming up. So Unhinged, that ends our Unhinged review. If you don't like the bullshit that we do after our movie reviews, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking.
Yes. And you can fuck off.
If this is your first time and you're wondering why I'm saying this, a lot of people just fuck off after the review. And then we just talk shit.
We talk the shit. And we answer some questions.
We do answer some questions. Funny you should mention that.
Funny I should mention that because we have.
It's as if you knew
where we were going with
coming
this.
Up.
Let me just pull up our questions here of what we've got. Let's go with... Where will we start? Let's start with an easy one from Sheppo. He just simply asked, will you guys watch Tron?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Literally. Not especially since Jared Leto's attached to the new one. Ugh.
I think the only Jared Leto piece we're going to touch on, the only one is going to be Morbius.
Which, I thought about that today. Where the fuck did that go?
Oh yeah, fuck it.
It wasn't announced that it was cancelled, or it wasn't announced that it was postponed.
No.
But it's past the release date, I think. Or was that
No,
September?
I think it was a September or October release.
Yeah.
It was going to be slated for.
But there's still they've stopped showing the trailers, obviously. Yeah. There's no posters around. So they're clearly delaying it.
I've not heard anything.
But they haven't mentioned it.
I haven't heard any news on it either.
Maybe it'll just fucking come out. But with Michael Keaton at the end, you would think they would want
I think they need to have a full cinema for it. Yeah. It's a big budget superhero movie.
They won't Mulan it? What's Sony anyway?
Jesus Christ.
So, never mind.
Never mind. Tron is not happening.
I'm absolutely
none of them.
Tron. I've seen the footage of the de-aged Jeff Bridges in Tron Legacy, and it's horrible. Good Daft Punk soundtrack though. James reminded me how good Daft Punk were, and I've been listening to a lot of Daft Punk.
Good. Another good Sheppo one. This one's a bit more easier. Which one out of you guys have the worst road?
Quiet and shy as I am in real life, I have a fucking tiny fuse.
Yeah.
I have a really, really short temper, especially while driving, because I'm in that safety of my car.
Okay.
So I'm very, and you see me talk with my hands, I'm very...
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine seeing this little skinny boy in his Swift being like, "Fuck you!"
I do that if someone nearly cuts me off at a roundabout. I just stop in the roundabout and just do this for like 8 seconds until they either go, "Yeah, whatever," or they just beep and try and drive into me.
I've flipped off of many people purely because I drive to Sydney every day, and I have the last 5 years, and it's just the same shit. It's just people coming up your ass. You're doing 130 and 110 zone, and people still get up your ass, and you're like, what do you want me to do?
My longest finger ever was like 12 minutes. Because I used to drive half an hour to work. Someone cut me off pretty early on my drive, and I just drove the whole way like that. And they were changing lanes and stuff, and I was following with my arm and stuff. Just my arm hurt so bad at the end of it. I was just like, People got to know if they do something stupid.
Have you ever had to get out of the car?
No, God, no. Oh, my God, look at me.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyone, an old lady would break me in half.
I have. Ooh. Is that the 7-Eleven in Dapto?
Fuck yes.
I was filling up my car, and I was finished filling up. There were cars in front of me and around me. I couldn't get out forward.
It's not a very well thought out survey.
No. So I'm like, oh fuck, alright.
I got stuck there today, actually.
It's funny a shit servo.
It's a bad servo.
I had a guy behind me. So I'm like, the only way I can get out is if I reverse out and go out one of the other exits. I'm trying to gesture to this guy to like, if he could just move back so I can reverse out. Yeah. Is I just sort of like looked at the back of the window like, just move back. Like, people in front, I can't get out. And he's just shaking his head. So then I got out of the car and went, I'm like, oh, bro, move the fuck back. I want to get out so to let... I'm not being a dick. Just fucking move.
Yeah.
Still shook his head.
Jesus Christ.
And was just like, what? I'm just like, oh my God. The person in front of me then eventually got back to the car and fucked off. So then I just sat there. Yeah, so wasn't that bad, but I did get out of the car for it. So
I've tried to be a bit better because I'm like, I am literally going to get punched in the head one day, and like, I can't defend myself. So
and after watching this movie, anything can happen.
Especially now,
anything can fucking happen.
I'm just like, fuck it, I'm never in that much of a rush anyway. I don't care.
All right, let's jump. This is like a double. James and Brooke pretty much had the same question here, which is favorite Russell Crowe movie. Brooke said not this one. James didn't specify, but. I guess, favourite Crowe movie?
Mine would be The Nice Guys, which is a Shane Black movie. Ryan Gosling, holy fuck.
He's on the fucked up Predator, isn't he?
Yes, he is the one that fucked up Predator.
Bad guy.
Oh, the Nice Guys. The Nice Guys? Or the other guys is the Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg one.
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys is Gosling, Crowe. And fuck, it's such a funny movie. And it's driven pretty much entirely by Gosling, but... Crowe is really, really good in it as well. Yeah. I'd recommend anyone watch that movie. It's a very watchable movie.
I think I started watching it, but then I fell asleep and then didn't bother putting it back on, so I didn't get too far through it. But from what I saw, it's pretty good.
Very good movie.
For me, I'm just going to say this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't know too many other Crowe movies, and I'm just going to say his appearance in The Man with the Iron Fist.
He was in a Stan original movie for our Australian watchers. He was in The True History of the Kelly Gang. And he's like... He
was also in the Bra Boys movie, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Bra Boys. In the Kelly Gang, he's sort of like, you think he's a mentor and like teaching this kid the right way because he doesn't really have a father figure. Yeah. Turns out he's a, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, really shit bloke, and he sort of made Ned Kelly into the criminal he is because he's such a fucking horrible, awful criminal murderer.
Yeah, makes sense.
And he's very, very good in it. He's doing full Australian Russ. That's a really good movie too, actually.
Not bad. We've got another one from James here, because James hit us out of the park with this one. Was the plot of a man going on a road rage-induced murder hunt out of place?
What?
Yeah.
No, what? Literally what?
Murder hunt out of place.
A little bit, but the motivation was... He was already, like, hot from murdering his wife.
I think looking at it from the trailer perspective, yes.
Yeah.
But watching the movie, no.
Yeah, no.
When you find out what his motivation is and reasoning behind his sort of snapped...
You find out it's basically a suicide run, no matter what. Like,
yeah. It's well, he does mention it eventually. If suicide by cops is fine by me. I don't care. Yeah. I'm just here to fuck up your day.
He's at his lowest, so...
Yeah.
It can't... So you're right. So in the movie, yes, it's very justified, but from the trailer, you're just like, whatever. Yeah, she beat that in. Yeah,
stupid.
But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, the trailer short-changed a little bit.
And that's why you just don't trust trailers these days.
Just never fucking watch trailers ever.
Another one from James is: what genre would you classify this movie?
Thriller.
Thriller, mystery thriller.
Thriller action.
action.
Not much mystery to it. He killed his wife and now wants to kill this lady.
I guess so. I'd say, yeah.
What's he going to do next? That's a mystery.
I guess thriller.
It is very surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, thriller.
I want to say thriller. Thriller's a good way to...
Extremely fast-paced. Like, mega adrenaline-fueled thriller.
Good one from Brooke here is, who else could you see playing Russell Crowe's character in this film?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The first one that came to mind was James Goodman. John Goodman,
yeah. But yeah.
Probably
he's already done this. Yeah, he's already done it sort of as well.
Which is sort of like the 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Because he explodes in that every now and then as well. But even when he's doing it, he's still like putting his gloves on and being very meticulous.
Yeah, he's a very controlling person.
But like every now and then he'll like slam the dinner table down. Yeah. That's a fucking great performance.
Very great performance. I don't like it in the series of the Cloverfield franchise, but that's when they went, fuck, we kind of have to incorporate this in the Cloverfield franchise because the whole thing's happening in the city right now with giant aliens and shit. We need to kind of lick that.
The problem is I'm thinking too much about size. Like,
yeah, well, that's
I don't know anyone who could beef up quite
exactly because this movie plays off really well that it has to be a big, beefy, psychotic boy.
I would really like it if we're not thinking about that. I would like to see Mark Ruffalo or someone who's usually pretty lovable. And Mark Ruffalo just absolutely losing his mind.
I don't know if that would.
His face is a bit too friendly. He's just like,
he just doesn't seem like he could be that like very, very psychotic looking person that is legitimately unhinged.
I'm obsessed with Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe is extremely scary looking.
He'd be so fucking creepy.
It's like he's already scary to look at. But he has this scene in the lighthouse where it's this fucking like 3.5 minute long monologue, and he doesn't blink for the entire time he's delivering it. I don't think he inhales once, and it is the scariest piece of cinema I've seen in the last fucking 27 years. So I just want to see Willem Dafoe do more psycho stuff.
See, I could almost see Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was a thinned down character, Liam Neeson could be just a very dirty, gritty looking guy.
Yeah.
And I reckon could pull it off.
Would he do the Liam Neeson voice? He would have to do an accent. Because he couldn't do Qui-Gon Jinn.
No, I think he's just used to doing his deep Irish voices. That's just the Liam Neeson
When
voice.
people hire him, like, they have to be just like, alright, he's just going to do his Liam Neeson voice.
Just make it deep and that'll be fine. But yeah, I couldn't think of really anyone else that... Because it's one of those things where you watch the movie and you go, alright, that's now the character for me.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to make a new picture because you're like... So many different people, but it would change the dynamic of the film.
Yeah.
Completely.
Adam Driver.
Fuck.
I just think he could do it. He has the range.
It'd be a lot more yelling.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good yeller.
Yeah.
He's got a good yell voice.
It would either just be like, just flat monotone, sarcasm, or just over the top yelling.
I even thought like maybe Tom Hardy, but Tom Hardy did the crazy thing in Bronson.
Oh.
And I think he really nailed it in Bronson, so like he would just be doing that again. But it could work. If he's still big. I don't think he's still big. Depends how big he's got for Venom.
I'd say he can get big pretty easy.
He can get big again.
He's one of those guys. Yeah, just get big.
Like in Mad Max, they had to put a fuck off big jacket on him because he was still massive. They were just like, doesn't really fit.
Yeah, doesn't really work.
Yeah, no, fuck. That is a good question. Who do you think? Leave it in the comments. Who do you think will be good as this crazy unhinged,
let us know
scary
what you
person?
think.
Not in size, like if you have one for in size as well, but just like in terms of performance.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with Willem Dafoe.
The park because James directed one this to me. He just simply stated Man City got knocked out of the Champions League this morning. How much do you want to get rid of Sterling right now? I don't. He's still the best player in England. He had a bad game. He had a bad miss. It fucked us over because then they went and scored a minute after, and that fucked us completely. And I still back my team to the hills, where we're going to win it. It's going to happen. You don't know what's happening right now.
Does David Seaman still play? He's like one of the best goalies of all time. His last name was Seaman.
Yeah, no. He does not play anymore. he
That's like what comes out of a willy. Seaman. His last name's Seaman. Can you believe that?
I can believe it, yes.
Sports.
So, yes, I still wholeheartedly support Manchester City. They are my boys. We fucked up, but that's the City Champions League curse, son. We don't get out of the quarterfinals.
If they weren't in FIFA 99, I don't know them. That was the last FIFA game I played.
And another quick one for him is he just also said, not a question, but he's going to start hashtag Bring Back Brooke.
Yeah.
And I almost agree because she brought the views.
I mean, you just yelled at her before we started. You told her to get the fuck out. That's a direct quote.
Yeah, because she's sitting here. We're trying to record. We need to get this done. I need to edit and put it out. And she wants to sit here playing silly buggers.
I know. I've got races to watch as well. I've already missed one.
No, not the fucking races. All right, well, let's end this on the last one then from Daniel. We may have touched on this before. Thoughts on Robert Pattinson as Batman?
Oh, my... Yeah, I cannot wait. We have touched on it.
Seeing him in the trailers for The Devil All the Time now for Tenet.
The Devil
His
All the
acting
Time.
is brilliant.
Yeah, The Devil All the Time trailer. He is so fucking charismatic and suave and cool. No, he's a fucking shit bloke. Like, obviously.
And I put this movie out in my news update the other week from the screenshots we got of these characters.
God, it looks
trailer
good.
did just come out.
The trailer looks so good.
Fucking wow.
We're definitely doing that.
That is going to be a
That's going to be an
That's a Netflix movie too, so...
It's definitely going to be an episode.
It's going to be nice and quick, which we do have the...
We still got Project Power to do.
Project Power,
yeah.
that's out.
That came out on Friday. I just not have time.
Yeah. But then he also asked as well, will there be a review on the Snyder version of Justice League?
Absolutely not. That's not... You couldn't... Even if you did start paying me, there is not a salary big enough to get me to sit through Justice League again. Sit through unfinished visuals, fucking 2.5 hours more of it. No.
Finishing it.
God fucking no. Absolutely not. I hate that movie.
Daniel, I'll bring you a solo episode for that one because I will watch it.
Oh.
Only because I didn't finish watching the original cut. I keep saying everything about the Snyder cut, so I'm just going to watch it and then I'll give you a review on it.
This sounds obvious, but the Dark Knight Rises episode we talked quite at length about the Batman.
Yeah.
So go back and watch after the review of that, we talk quite a lot about Pattinson. Excited we are.
Yeah.
We think it'll be different. It won't be a burly, brawly Batman. It'll be a... I think...
And now seeing his acting prowess in these new upcoming movies, it does make me very excited to see that he's becoming a very, very well-developed actor.
Genuine actor. And in he gets the end, so like all the cast, featuring and Robert Pattinson. And that's how you know that you're the draw.
Yeah.
But you think will be Tom Holland, because he's literally fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's sort of given off as definitely the main guy in this movie, but
Pattinson gets that billing, baby.
Exactly right. I think that's all we've got in the questions there.
Cool.
I think that's gonna run it for us.
Well, this one's dedicated to David Seaman.
This one's dedicated to Olympic Lyonnais for knocking us out of the Champions League in the quarterfinal again.
I don't know what any of this means.
This one goes out to Russell Crowe.
Hey, there we go. I'm back on board.
The New Zealander that we claim as our own.
Yeah,
and stay fat. You're a good fat man.
He's a good fat man.
I really enjoy you as a fat man.
I want him to go away for like 10 years again and then come back as like this grizzled old scary guy. I don't know. Maybe do like an Uncut Gems, but I don't know. Just something like...
Could be something.
Something big. Get him in the big time again.
Get him in the big time. Alright.
Yep, good.
Thanks for sticking around, guys. You've made it this far. Thank you for listening to the You Like That podcast. This has been another new movie review. We'll be coming again next week, again with another new movie.
Next to a good one, man.
There's still movies coming out, and Tenet is going to be the big one. We may have to pay for sponsors on that one and get that really out there. The next one is going to be a fun one. So remember the new schedule will be Sunday audio releases, Tuesday video YouTube releases, Friday will be the news updates. Okay. And we'll stick it to that.
Love that you said Thursday at the beginning of the episode.
I said Thursday or Friday. I said Thursday or Friday. Fair. Maybe Thursday or Friday. I don't know yet still. I'll figure that out when I record it. It's a matter of how much news there is to report. Okay, guys, thank you for sticking around, supporting this show. Again, if you like this, chuck a subscribe, share it, like it, comment, do whatever you want.
Interact, ask questions.
Do something. It gets more out there. I know we seem so petty always asking for it, but it's just how channels grow. If we don't ask for it, we're not going to grow. We want to grow. Need money.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Exactly right. So, until next time, my name is Adam. Will always be Adam. Still Adam. One half of this You Like That podcast.
I will be Jack. I hate this bit so much. I'm Jack. I'm the other half of the You Like That podcast, and I probably will be next week. And I was last week. Go back last week, and you'll see me be Jack. Go forward to next week's when it comes out. Hang tight, because I'll probably be Jack.
You stretched it too far.
I derailed it and fucked myself.
Jesus, guys. All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you on the next one.
David Seaman.